to a Saturday edition, if I gotta do that, of, maybe just that. Trying to get the Brock Rock and Wine sign fully in the shop. Welcome to a Saturday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. As you can tell, new sign, Brock Rock and Wine. Been telling you, save the date, August 6th, inside of Tiger Stadium. Going to be awesome. brortho.com for tickets, and of course, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Okay, y'all, let's get to it here. Some LSU transfer portal news on the baseball side. We learned on Thursday that Giovanni DiGiacomo was entering the portal yesterday. Brennan Holt, Friday, Brennan Holt entered the portal, not only entered the portal, but also announced Oklahoma State is his destination. So you can tell in some of those instances, y'all, the balls are in, the wheels are in motion. Well before we know. For him to announce his new destination the same day as he's announced he's entered the portal, it kind of tells you that had been happening. So that's two now that we know of. If you missed it, Gavin Dugas was on AFR in hour 3 yesterday with me and Terrio, and asked him point blank if he was considering a return to LSU for a 5th season. He said 1,000% yes. Said he's going to let the hand heal. He's not going to play ball this summer. He's going to get treatment on that hand, let it heal, prepare for the draft, mid-July, and see what happens. So I believe the draft is, we looked at up the dates yesterday, I think it's the 17th through the 19th. So, I think he'll wait, see what happens with whatever that number is he has in mind. Then you can see Gavin Dugas back, and then, man, you what a boost that would be for LSU, because you're going to lose Doty, and you're going to lose Berry. So that's really your starting second baseman, your starting third baseman, but also 2 gigantic bats. So just say hypothetically, if you do get Gavin Dugas back and he plays second base for you, awesome. Now you have someone very comparable to Doty, a guy who's got a ton of power in the bat, can really hit anywhere in the lineup, but you like to see him in the top half of your lineup, can play second base. So, I mean, that would be great. And then see what comes to the transfer portal. If you're able to nab a shortstop in the portal, great. Maybe kick Thompson over to third. I do understand. I believe, unless something changes, that back. And maybe he comes back to compete for the shortstop job. Maybe they're not able to add another shortstop. Or maybe he plays third, whatever it may be. But I do believe Jordan Thompson will be back next year as well. So starting to come together a little bit each day. All right, let's say some good morning, see what y'all got. I mean, what was the performance last night by Steph Curry, who just went off. The Warriors win Game 4 of the finals to even it up at 2. Series shifts back west. And Tennessee lost last night to Notre Dame in the first game of their Super Regional. So let's go Irish. One more to go. All right, Brian Pinton, good morning. Okay. Yeah, so Notre Dame beat Tennessee Game 1. What do you think about their center fielder getting kicked out? So if you missed it, the Tennessee starting center fielder got kicked out of the game. He was thrown a run, and so was the pitching coach for arguing balls and strikes. It was a 1-0 count, and the home plate umpire called a low strike to make the count 1-1. And the Tennessee hitter, looks back at the ref. It's Drew Gilbert, their center fielder, looks back at the ref and says, "That's effing terrible. You effing suck." And the ref, the ump ran him. Home plate ump ran him, and then the pitcher runs out onto the field, and they run him too. And when you get ejected, by the way, you miss the next game as well. So Drew Gilbert, the starting center fielder for Tennessee, is not available today for Tennessee in an elimination game. And apparently, and I do like this, that the crew chief did issue a statement, and I do like that. I've said often that I believe that umpires and referees and all should have to speak. And this is what the crew chief said. Billy Van Raphorst, to the pool reporters, said Tennessee number one Drew Gilbert argued several pitches during the top of the second inning, steaming in from center field. To begin the next inning, I talked to the player between innings, warned him to direct his comments only to his team, not our crew or the other team. He said okay, and that he just gets excited. During the fifth inning, following strike one, Tennessee batter Gilbert yelled an expletive followed by another expletive as he walked out of the box and was subsequently ejected. Like, yo, here's the thing. And I know the counter argument primarily stems from our buddy Hunt Palmer, who says, and I agree with him in basketball, by the way, but in this case was like where you got to be you got to be an adult and not influence the game that way and realize there's emotion. I understand that, but you also have to understand this is college baseball. These are not multimillionaires playing professional baseball 162 games. This is still college baseball. You can't have college baseball players, even especially after a warning, dropping F-bombs, multiple F-bombs on the umpire, and expect for there not to be a consequence. So I had no problem with the ejection at all. And that's par for the course of Tennessee. And now we know Kid had been warned and did it anyway. So I got no problem with it. And that's the culture that Tony Vitello has created at Tennessee. They are a-holes. They are. They're just all a-holes. And they own it. They're the villains. They're the antagonists. They want to be that. Okay. Well, when you lose, people are going to celebrate your downfall. Kelly Gross, Bubba Tatum, Jason Truax, Jeff McKithen, what's good? Grand Isle heading 50 miles out. Go make that run, bro. I'll stay here on land. Tony Williams, Lee McCaffrey, what's going on? Bubba Tatum, anyone else find themselves cheering for the Golden Domers yesterday? Of course. It's not so much cheering for Notre Dame as it is cheering against Tennessee. It doesn't matter who was wearing that uniform. Debbie Jenkins, Drew Hurst, Ray Wright. What's up, Ray Wright? Biggest Notre Dame fan for today and today only. Darren Sixkiller, new Hudco roof performed beautifully with that rain in Metairie yesterday. Love to hear it. Thank you so much. Darren is a Hudco customer. Darren, I'm going to list of my thank you notes that I've written. I'm pretty sure I wrote one to Darren. Did I? I'd have sworn. Maybe you're on my list. I wrote a lot of thank you notes. We've got a lot of roofs we've done. Anyway. Well, anyway, I don't think y'all are watching just to see me look at a list of names and addresses, but anyway, thought I did. Anyway, but thank you, Darren. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Trivia, what's good, man? Matt Lynn, Chemo Slice, what's up? Aaron Hornsby, let's go Irish. Donovan Thibodeau, Wendell Norman. What's going on? Alex Barnes. Matt, great point yesterday about us only wanting Quan so bad because he's from LSU. It woke me up in a way. I mean, it's kind of, look, Alex, realistically, man, it is true. I would, listen, if Quan Alexander is healthy, I'm totally down with Quan being a part of the Saints at a veteran minimum contract. The problem is he can't stay healthy. So if you're the Saints, you have to look at other options. I mean, you have to. Spurge, what's good, man? Brian Wynn. Let's see, Brian Kelly DeGoat. What's up, Scone? What quarterback do you think LSU will have with the 2022 recruiting cycle? Listen, I cannot tell you that I know anything definitively. I think who's the kid from who's committed to Purdue. Ricky Collins, who, by the way, I saw him last year against Catholic. He's a stud. That kid is a major college football. I know he's committed to Purdue, but I would love it if LSU flipped him. And then, I know they're in on some of these like big time top 5 national prospects. So, they're going to land one of them. So I can't tell you I know who. But if Ricky Collins, the kid from Woodlawn, is a consolation prize, shoot, I'd be down with that. The kid is awesome. Jesse Post, good morning, Sconicus. Thank you for doing these. My pleasure, Jesse. Thank you for watching. I'm only doing them because y'all watched. Let's see. Brian Wynn, Rapping Batches, Aaron Hornsby, Donovan Thibodeau, typical Tennessee players and coaches ejected, suspended. Cliff Nelson, what's good, man? Aaron, let's be trashy, not classy. They threw stuff on the fans, threw stuff on the field. Yeah, it was bad, bro. Eric Wildrider, watching Tennessee implode on their Little League field was quite the treat. It's interesting. A lot of you, I'm guessing this. Maybe not a lot, maybe some of you watched Tennessee play on their field for the first time this year. I'm guessing. Because most people, I think, don't go out of their way to watch teams that aren't LSU. Most of our audience, I should say. And you've heard me for weeks and weeks and weeks, if not months or if not years, talk about that ballpark. And the reason Tennessee hit so many homers is because their ballpark. Well, you saw it yesterday. A Notre Dame team that hit 60 homers on the year hit homers in 4 consecutive innings. 2 in the first. Y'all, or was it one of them? Yeah, 2 in the first. Got a 3-0 lead. A 2-run shot, then a solo. Guys and ladies, it's 350 to left center. It's 365 to right center. Those are pop flies at the box. The power alleys at the box are 385. It's 405 to dead center, 330 down the lines. That's a Little League park. Pop-ups leave the yard there. So, yeah, you have juiced players with juiced bats playing on a T-ball field. Of course they're going to hit a ton of homers. Let's see. Whoop. All right, Donovan Thibodeau, Damon Hinderberger. Saw some Tennessee fans wearing Catholics versus classless. I guess awareness is the first step in the process. I thought those were pretty funny, actually. They're embracing it. Tennessee is embracing it wholly. They are embracing being the mouth-breathing idiots of college baseball. And it's so, but it was so funny. Somebody's tweet popped up on my feed. I don't know who it is. Wait, here it is. I'll tell you who it is. It was, this guy's name is Big T. He's Connor Knapp, digital content creator for Barstool Sports. I don't know who he is. He's got 30,000 followers. He's got a blue check. But his whole backdrop is Tennessee and everything like that. And he put, he did a screen grab of the strike called on Gilbert. He said it was at his ankles. And I quote tweeted, I said, it's so cute when a fan base just started caring about college baseball. Because the reality is, if you watch college baseball, you see this. And the most glaring example that I can give you that you all might remember is when Caleb Gilbert pitched in the College World Series in 2017 against Oregon State. And he was brilliant. And that's when LSU had to come back and beat Oregon State twice, and they did, and Gilbert was awesome. And if you were watching that game, Gilbert was getting calls off the plate routinely. And Twitter, baseball Twitter, was like melting down over a lot of these calls because it was such a big deal. That Oregon State team had only lost a handful of times all year, and then LSU beat them in back-to-back days, whatever. But it's college baseball. These are not big leaguers. They're college pitchers. They do get calls off the plate. It's like, go watch a high school game. Go watch my 11-year-old nephew play baseball. They'll give them high strikes because 11-year-olds don't have the best command. Well, the same is true at this level. They don't have impeccable command, so they do get a wider zone. That happens in college. It is a thing that happens in college baseball. So, anyway. But if you don't watch college baseball a lot, you don't know that. You don't see it all the time. Let's see, Ryan Amanda Guidry, what's up? Dale Broussard, how much money does Mikey Romero want to pass on college? Yeah, Dale, I was told the word that a scout gave me, an area scout for the Dodgers, by the way, West Coast, where Mikey Romero was quote, no chance. So Romero is going to get picked. He's going to, in the first round, he's going to sign. So I mean, you never know what may happen. You never say never. So, weird situations transpire. So I don't want to speak in absolutes, but I would say like it's a 99% chance he signs a pro contract and never shows up. Hayden Presley, what's up, Skip? Good morning. Now I'll tell you this though. Skip said the field is winning it all again this year. So meaning Tennessee or the field. I mean, I'm not going to go bury Tennessee, y'all. We've seen teams lose their first game and come back and win super regionals. It happened to LSU in 2008 with Irvine. But in that Tennessee team, look, they got Chase Dollander going today. So you're talking about the guy who's the SEC player, SEC pitcher of the year in an elimination game going tonight for the Vols. Like, I would expect Tennessee to win this game, and then it becomes a one-game season. So I'm not going to go ahead and like bury them yet, but they on the ropes, man. We'll see. Let's see, Dale. Sounds like many high school baseball kids are publicly stated they want to attend college. I believe they are just using it as leverage for dollars. Dale, that's nothing new. I mean, that's not something they're starting to do. That's always been the leverage piece for. Oh man, we're about to get Arkansas, North Carolina. 2 minutes. All right. I mean, Dale, that's always been the leverage piece for high schoolers. It's sign or just say I'll go to college. So I mean, remember Zach Lee? I mean, Zach Lee was on campus. I mean, he was going through football practice at LSU, the quarterback, and then the Dodgers came in and paid him like $6 million, and he left. Lee McCaffrey, find it similar to a Will Wade team, talented team with no discipline. Ben Dupuy, morning, Matt. What do you think of this idea? 32 NFL teams adopt a college team similar to the minor leagues. Obviously, some Southern teams don't have an NFL team, vice versa. But for example, the Patriots could buy Bama. Ben, what do you mean? Like, what would the major league team get? I mean, that actually, I mean, that doesn't even. I mean, college athletics are associated with a university. I mean, I'm only entertaining this just for the conversation, but there is literally no chance that would ever happen. I mean, that makes no sense at all. But anyway, Robert Anderson, good morning. Have Notre Dame shirt on this morning. I love it. Tiffany Brando Cruz, good morning. Thank you notes are so great. Keeping crazy times a bit more like simpler times. There you go, Tiffany. Hope you and the fam are doing awesome. Newt Douglas, what's going on? Newt Douglas said, I coach at Purdue. I coach at Woodlawn. I don't think he'll go to Purdue. It's interesting. Man, he's a stud. I saw enough last year. That kid, I mean, I don't want to be dismissive of his teammates or anything like that, but that game against Catholic, like, he was a one-man wrecking crew. They could not stop him in the second half. Just could not stop him. Tony Williams, I think LSU gets Rashada or the quarterback from Detroit. I mean, those are a couple of national guys, and Rashada's visited a few times, but we'll see. Skip, beer sales in the stadium stopped as soon as they threw cans on the field. Ray Wright, juice players, juice bats. That's why Scone is the best. No, Ray Wright, remember, it's juice players using juice bats on a t-ball field. Got to include the third line of it as well. Melanie Wilson Willis, I will always give respect when it's due, but I can't respect Tennessee. It's just sad. Well, okay, let me say this about Tennessee real quick. And look, I'll repeat it. I think Tennessee's going to win today. They got the SEC Pitcher of the Year on the mound in an elimination game on their field where they haven't lost much this year. I think they're going to win today. And then it becomes a one-game season, and we'll see what happens on Sunday. But Dollander, for example, who's going to pitch today? Last year, he was a freshman at Georgia Southern. Freshman at Georgia Southern. He had an ERA north of 4 and was 4-3 on the season. He was a guy at Georgia Southern, starter as a freshman, but at Georgia Southern, not great, just guy. Transfers to Tennessee and in 1 year becomes the SEC Pitcher of the Year. Now you might say, hey, look, tip your hat to that guy, worked his behind off, got better, maybe hit a growth spurt, so really found his velocity, whatever. Okay. But then on the same team, you've got a guy that was at a guy that started his career at something called Walters State Community College, and now is throwing 102 miles an hour at Tennessee and is dotted 105. Like, y'all, I know guys sometimes come back throwing harder from Tommy John. They don't go to 105 miles an hour. I'll take it a step further for you if you care to. Tennessee's number 3 guy this year. Sorry. I'm waiting for this to load. Tennessee's number 3 guy. Freshman in the perfect game rankings was number 258 or 238. So like outside of the top 200 prospects in the country for last year's draft, comes to campus and ends up being the SEC Freshman of the Year. Like, it's one thing if you got a guy like Landon Marceau who passed on $2 million, and it's Drew Beam, by the way, is who I'm talking about. It's one thing if you're talking about a guy like Marceau who was going to be a first-round pick and passed on a couple $1 million to come there, or passed on whatever, to show up on campus, and he shows up on campus and is a dude. Or Aaron Nola, same thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing if that happens. It's another when a guy who was outside of the top 250 in the country shows up on campus and is a dude and wins SEC Freshman of the Year. You know what I mean? And if it was one guy on a team, it would be one thing. But when it's 5, and then you're hitting 150 homers, like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, it's fair to look at that and say, yeah, that's just not right. Like, that doesn't happen when that many guys go from being meh to, like, dominant. Not just improving, but to, like, SEC Pitcher of the Year, SEC Freshman of the Year, throwing 105 miles an hour. It's fair to be skeptical of them. It is very fair to be skeptical. And then you have a situation where they get busted using an illegal bat in a game. I mean, and then you hear stories. Like, it's fair. Like, it is fair to be skeptical of them. Luke Cranford, Matt, love seeing you pop off on Twitter last night about Tennessee's player development in Lindsey Nelson Stadium. How long till we hear news on Thatcher Hurd? I don't know how long till you hear something official there, but that certainly seems like Thatcher Hurd's the pitcher from UCLA. It looks like he's transferring to LSU. Had a back injury, missed the last 2 months of the season, entered the portal, and looks like LSU's his destination. But did y'all see yesterday? I mean, I told y'all this. Maui Ahuna, the shortstop from Kansas, announced yesterday that he's going to Tennessee. I told y'all a week ago that he had an NIL deal done already with Tennessee. I mean, he's a great player. Hit 400 at Kansas last year. Like, that's a kid that I would expect to go to Tennessee and be a great player next year, because he was a great player this year. Now, the Big 12 was not very good this year. They had some good teams. But overall, the league wasn't great. Anyway, all right. Full day of baseball, man. How about this? Well, Arkansas and North Carolina. That's an early start, bro. 11 a.m. on the East Coast, so 10 a.m. here. But anyway, getting it rolling. Okay. Fred Sabrin, really here in hopes a volunteer rant. Don't let me down. Well, you've got a couple of them, Fred, already. Greg T. Tennessee players are a product of their environment. The kids are being taught to act a certain way. I'm glad they get punished for their consequences. Go Irish. Armstrong Grappling. Big names will be joining the portal from this LSU baseball team. Jay is cleaning house, not concerned with building a program as he is winning now. So I'm completely going to disagree with you on the second part of that, Armstrong Grappling. To say he's not concerned with building a program, I think is erroneous. I think he has to build a program how he wants it. And his vision might not align with Paul Maneri's vision of building and Nolan Cain's of building a roster. Remember, Paul recruited outfielders that were, slender and could run and maybe didn't pack a lot of power. And I believe just, watching, playing in Omaha led him to be a more defensive-minded guy. Also, how guys like Safford and Holt ended up on campus. I don't think you're going to see Jay Johnson recruit players like that. I think you're going to see more guys like Jacob Berry. I think you're going to see bigger, stronger guys that can hit the ball in the gap and over the fence. I think that's what he values is offense and being able to put up, crooked numbers and then pitching. So I guess the point is, when you have a roster full of guys that don't fit the mold of what Jay Johnson wants his roster to look like, you're not saying that you don't care about building a program. You have to build your roster the manner in which you want it to look to accomplish what you want to accomplish. And that was a problem this year, obviously. I mean, look at the pitching staff. I mean, this pitching staff was basically a whole bunch of stock righties. I mean, when you look at, just run through them. If it's Vittmeyer or get down. What a play. See, look at that. North Carolina's park is 340 down the line. At the box, that's a home run. UNC's out right fielder made a beautiful running catch almost at the wall at the 340 sign. That's a homer at the box. And the box plays big. That's huge at North Carolina. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Grant Taylor, Sam Dutton, Ty Floyd. I mean, y'all, stock righties. Dudes that all kind of look the same, right? So, you gotta go. Ooh. Anyway, sorry, I'm gonna pay less attention to that. Goat 9. There was a line drive off the shortstop's glove that went to the outfield wall. I saw that, but another part of that too is that is also a product of playing on turf. So Tennessee hit a line drive. It went off the Notre Dame shortstop's glove and caromed toward the left field corner, and went all the way to the wall. But again, like, that was a pretty. You're talking 100 plus off the bat, and then caught the glove and caromed, and just caught that turf and rolled. So that wasn't that big of a surprise. Gulf South. I must have missed the Quan segment yesterday, but I remember him and Davis being one hell of a tandem. If injuries are the issue, though, don't we have the same issue with Warner? So Gulf South, I believe it was either the first or second segment of the show yesterday, because we talked about Joe Schobert, the linebacker from Wisconsin, who started his career with the Browns, played the last 2 seasons in Jacksonville and Pittsburgh. And in his career, he's missed like 3 games total. I think in 2018, he missed 3 games, or maybe 2 games in 2018. And so the Saints brought him in for a workout. And he's a guy that's been a starter in his career. He's been a really productive player. Had 112 tackles last year in Pittsburgh. Started 16 of the 17 games. Quan's had one season in his career where he stayed healthy. So if you're looking for options of guys that stay healthy, I mean, Quan's great if he's healthy, but he just hasn't been able to stay healthy. So you're looking for guys that are going to be available. So I get it. Fonzarelli, do we actually think some of the starters will be transferring out from this baseball team? You'd have to define starters. Like, I believe, well, Cruz will obviously be back. Stevenson and Pearson will be back. Morgan will be back. Barry's going to go pro. Doty's going to go pro. McManus has no more eligibility. Milazzo will be back. Thompson will be back. So, I mean, I think it's a lot of the other guys that, you're talking about roster spots. Ronnie Rance was on AFR yesterday, a.k.a. Rugeron, and brought up a good point. Like, the rosters also contract next year. Because of COVID, they had 40-man rosters this year. Next year, it's back down to 35. So you're already shrinking your roster by 5. And then if you're Jay Johnson, I mean, you gotta make room for the signing class coming in and for transfers. So you're just going to see a lot of guys on this roster who didn't play that aren't going to be back. We already know Holt and Gio. I don't know if it's been reported yet, but my understanding is Will Safford won't be back as well. You're just going to have a list of guys that, I mean, I don't want to name names. Look, both Terrio and Ronnie yesterday hinted at the fact that Drew Bianco, who has one more year because of COVID, is going to go play at Ole Miss for his dad next year. Like, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, he's not a guy that's really going to contribute on this team. So, anyway. Fred, what are your expectations for Mike Jones Jr.? I think he'll be a starter. I think he'll be a 100-tackle guy, and he'll get drafted. Do you know much about MJ CEO, the potential LSU baseball recruit? I don't. I think there were 2 players, 2 signees that when I kind of talked to scouts to kind of get a feeling this week on who might show up and who might not, I think he was one of the 2 that I couldn't get a read on. Taz, Saints brought in a linebacker, and he's pretty good. He'll take somebody's spot if he signed. That's Schobert. That's who I was talking about. Reagan, unless you share what's going on. Fred, the best part is when they said they'd smash with wood bats, proceeded to lose to Tennessee Tech with wood bats, scoring 2 runs. Happened. All right, y'all, as always, shout out to Brock. Remember, Brock Rock and Wine, great fundraiser benefiting the Brock Foundation, which provides orthopedic and physical training support and therapy support to high schools all over the greater Baton Rouge area. brortho.com, going to be a great day with amazing, it's in the LSU South Stadium Club. There's going to be great food from all over, of course, wine, live music as well. So y'all check it out. Brock Rock and Wine could be a great event August the 6th. Of course, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Let's see. Have a great day, Tiffany. Thanks. Great to see you. That's Tiffany Brando Cruz. If Tiffany and I went to LSU together, and that's Tim Brando's daughter, Tiffany. So she's a rock star. She was awesome she was one of the class leaders at LSU. Just what you'd expect. Dynamic personality. Awesome lady. Great mom. Always glad to see when Tiffany pops on. Gerald Mathern, good morning. Craig Carter, you have to appreciate the pitching for being so dominant, playing 65% of the games in that park. No doubt, Craig. Like, you're talking about Tennessee. Like, Tennessee is an incredible team. I just am skeptical of how they put this team together. That's my point. And I think it's fair to be skeptical when you have so many guys who are guys who become like Ben Joyce throwing 105, or Chase Dollander becoming the SEC Pitcher of the Year, or Drew Beam becoming the Freshman of the Year. Dudes hitting 20-plus homers who weren't power guys. Like, it's fair to say, I mean, we've lived through the steroid era of baseball. Like, when stuff like that happens in baseball, we're all skeptical. And you're right to be skeptical because it's available. Michael Adams, Jason Horn. Mark, what's going on, man? Let's see. Ole Miss, Southern Miss, who you got? Honestly, Mark, I'm so torn on that one because, like, I subscribe to the old adage that good pitching beats good hitting every day of the week. And that would have me lean towards Southern Miss. But this is Ole Miss's third straight Super Regional. They are as hot as any team in the country. They're veteran. Their bats are really good. I kind of lean Ole Miss. But man, it would not surprise me at all if those dudes from Southern Miss go and just shove and just sweep this Super. Would not surprise me at all. So this is, Mark, that's honestly one where I'm not betting on it. Blindfolded, you made me pick. I'd probably go Southern Miss, pitching and home field. But I don't feel good about that at all. Like, I don't feel good about it at all. That's one where I'm like, yeah, I'll abstain from making a bet or a pick on that one. But we'll see. Kevin Sparks, Tennessee is done. They'll fold under the pressure. We'll see, Kevin. I'm telling you, man. You got Dollander going today, and then if they win that one, it becomes a one-game season. I mean, Tennessee's going to be really hard out. It was fun to watch them lose last night. The point that I've made all year is when you play in a T-ball park and then you go play in TD Ameritrade, that offense isn't going to travel. So if they win it in Omaha, they're going to win it with pitching, not with their offense, because the power numbers are going to drop at TD Ameritrade. Well, inside-out swing. That's going to score the run from first. Oh, he held him at third. Wow. Let's see. Mark, will LSU baseball try to recruit Tanner Hall from Zachary via NIL? Maybe, Mark. I mean, I've heard that whispered, but I can't. Let him sleep. I can't tell you that I have anything credible on that, Mark. I for the reason you would ask the question, it makes sense, right? A kid from here always wanted to go to LSU's, now an All-American. Like, could you get him back home when you need starting pitching? Like, it makes sense, right? But would Tanner Hall leave Southern Miss? I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any insight there. Zach Lee to Amp Hill for the win. Deborah Coward, what's going on? Chance Babin, the LSU Notre Dame love-hate thing is getting weird this weekend. I wasn't even thinking about that because of the Brian Kelly thing. I really wasn't. I was just thinking, like, for me personally, the Notre Dame stuff runs deep because I lived up there for a year. My brother went to school there. He's got so many ties to that place. But yeah, no, I wouldn't even think about Brian Kelly, but yeah, I guess so. Richie Bird, isn't Tennessee's best hitter suspended today? So yeah, Drew Gilbert is. Yeah, so Drew Gilbert, if you missed it, was tossed yesterday for arguing balls and strikes in the fifth inning. Do you want to do Ask E-Rock? Do you want to do Ask E-Rock?
Oh, sure. I'll do giant cotton candy. You have huge. Just watch one. Just wait. Marvel's coming, man. It's coming.
If you would like to do Ask E-Rock, you can feel free to get your questions in now. But yes, so Drew Gilbert from Tennessee is suspended. He was arguing balls and strikes. The crew chief, after the game, issued a statement saying they warned him in the second inning about directing comments toward umpires and opposing players. And then in the fifth inning, with a 1-0 count, and that's the other thing, he didn't even get rung up. It was a 1-0 count. They called a low strike. And he looked back at the ump and said he was effing terrible, and then dropped another F-bomb on him. It's like, I don't get, and yes, Gilbert, I just looked it up. Gilbert's hitting 369, so he's their leading hitter. And he hit 11 homers on the year. But like Trey Lipscomb has 22 homers on the year. Ortega's got 19. Russell, the catcher, who many of y'all thought got popped for PEDs, 16. Jordan Beck, 14. So anyway, I'm sorry. No, yeah, Gilbert's got 11. Gilbert's got 11. So he's not their best power hitter, but still a double-digit homer guy, hitting 369, plays your starting center fielder. It's a big deal. All right, we can do, Eric is here if y'all want to do Ask E-Rock. Fire away with your questions.
Would you call it a snow cone or a snowball?
Snowball.
Snowball.
I mean, unless if you're using cones.
But no, like I'm trying to do a giant snow cone, but like nobody has how to do that.
Okay.
So it's called snowball.
Mets had a guy named Sid Finch who could throw harder than 105. Amazing prospect. Sid Finch. Melanie Wilson Willis. Tennessee is good. Their behavior and sportsmanship is horrible. I mean, let your game speak for itself. Ryan Amanda Guidry. Great show as always. Thank you. Jacob Falcon. What's up, Jacob Falcon? Talking being skeptical. Imagine if it came out they were doping at Tennessee. That would be a Tennessee thing that could happen. I mean, if that happened, Jacob, I don't think it would surprise anybody, right? Like when Evan Russell, the catcher, missed one of the games, the regionals last weekend, and there was a report that from an ESPN, play-by-play guy, that he had been popped for PEDs, or failed a drug test. Nobody doubted it. Now, it was very irresponsible by the ESPN guy because, as Vitello later said, he was just sick. But nobody doubted it. That's the point. Everyone looks at this Tennessee team with great skepticism, and justifiably so, because you have all these guys that went from meh to studs in 1 year, all on the same team. That just doesn't happen. Hey, Dad, what's going on? Brandon Kleber, do you think LSU tries to get starting pitching in the transfer portal? Absolutely. Recruiting or both. Well, recruiting, I think they got 11 pitchers signed as part of this class. So they signed a ton of pitchers. I think 4 of the top JUCO arms in the country. I mean, they've already got pitching signed. How much of it comes to campus will be interesting. And then, yes, we've talked about the kid from UCLA who entered the transfer portal, who is Kendall Rogers of D1 Baseball reported that he's a likely land at LSU. So, yes, they know they need pitching. They're going to go get pitching. Chance Babin, my Georgia Southern friend, said Chase Dollander was average at best last year, now SEC Pitcher of the Year. Well, I mean, Chance, it doesn't have to be a Georgia Southern friend. He was pitching at Georgia Southern as a freshman, went 4-3 with an ERA north of 4. Of course he was average. He was a very average pitcher at Georgia Southern, and now he's the SEC Pitcher of the Year. That's where the skepticism comes in with Tennessee. And I'm sorry to, in some ways, discredit the entire team. I mean, because I know that I'm sure there are guys on that team that have worked really hard, have done it the right way, and they've had a great season. But you've all seen it. I mean, anyway, all right. Where are we? Sorry. Jimmy James, wait for the big masher from NC State to get to Knoxville and hit 30 bombs. No, so Jimmy, so you're talking about Tommy Tanks, Tommy White from NC State. He is apparently going to Florida State, who, by the way, fired their coach yesterday, Mike Martin Jr. Big spot. Bases loaded, and Arkansas gets out of it. Wow. Big spot. Big spot. Told you I should have sent that runner first, third. Should have sent him home. Grounder got to hit the pitcher off the leg. Wow, what a play. Hit Connor Nolan on the leg. Great way to sort of find yourself, find the ball, and make the play at first. Saved a run. What a big spot. Reagan Leschere, I assume they'd be gone. Crazy where I see Barry and Raiselman come back if the pro offer sucks. Yeah, there's no way, Reagan. So keep in mind also that guys that go in the top 10 rounds, they've already had a verbal agreement on a deal. So what'll happen is the area scout will call the player and say, hey, we're going to take you 32nd. Will you take 3.2? Whatever. Yes. Boom. Done. So if guys if their name is called in the top 10 rounds, you're signing. It's just, I mean, it is a rare occurrence, as odd as the Kumar Rocker thing was last year, where a player that goes in the top 10 rounds doesn't sign. So if you hear a guy's name called in the top 10 rounds, he's signing. The bigger question is when you get outside of the top 10 rounds, what do guys do? Do they want to go start a pro career? Can teams maybe sign them over slot? That's where you start to have the question. But Barry's going to be a top 10 pick. He's gone. Raiselman is going to be a top 5 round guy. Might very well be a top 100 pick. So if he goes to the pro, he was on with us earlier this week. He's already back home in San Francisco, and said he's driving down to San Diego to go to a draft workout, draft combine workout with scouts, he goes and pops 99 there a few times. Like, he's going to be a top 100 pick, and he's going to sign. So that's like you just got to accept like some of these guys are not going to be back. Those three are not going to be back. And Paul Gervais is probably one as well. Had a great year, 6'10" with that weird arm slot. He's probably gonna go in the top 10 rounds as well, and he'll sign. Trivia Carter, let's see. Jonathan Martin, good morning. Jesse Post, with Tennessee, it is common for one player to take a big step in 1 year, but not 7 players. Something's up with them. I mean, with every school, you have guys progress. I mean, you should have guys get better year to year. I mean, we could talk about Blake Money, who, boy. North Carolina left fielder kind of gave up on that one, huh? But charge that ball and make the catch. Wow. Larry Garner, good morning. Hunter Fournette, did you see the spoiled toddler that got thrown out? We did, yes. Tony Vitello's Coach Pete Bull from Blue Chips. I need to go watch Blue Chips again. I saw it when it came out, of course, because Shaq was in it. It's Neon Badeau. But I want to see it again. Let's see. Taz, what position can the Pelicans use an upgrade at? I'll always take wing defense. Aaron Hornsby, Hunter Fournette, ask you. Oh, got some ask you rocks, Erica. Robbie White, Matt, for how good of a baseball guy Hunt is, how can he be so wrong on the ejection? If Hunt didn't think he needed to be ejected, then my question is, at what point should he be ejected? That's a great question, Robbie. And I disagree with Hunt on that. So for those that missed it, Drew Gilbert from Tennessee got ejected. I'll reset this for arguing balls and strikes. And by the way, in college baseball, it is literally written in the rule book that if you argue balls and strikes, there is no warning. If you argue balls and strikes, you are ejected. And you miss that game and the next game. It's in the rule book. So, that's in Major League Baseball now as well. We found out after the game that the umpire, in fact, did give Drew Gilbert a warning after the second inning. And so that was kind of the last straw. You can't drop multiple F-bombs on a home plate umpire and in college baseball and not expect for there to be consequences. So, I'm with you, Robbie. And then the pitching coach came out of the dugout to argue as well, and he got run as well. So it's that's just what they are, man. Tony Vitello is the guy who sets that whole attitude around that team. He's bumped umpires. He's come out arguing. He's come out arguing balls and strikes, and in the second inning and getting run out of games. Anyway. Y'all know the story by now. Let's see, can we figure out the science and get robot refs? Yeah, that's already starting to happen in the minor leagues. Greg T, after I hit my trifecta ticket for the Belmont today, I'm spending all my winnings on more Gamecoin. Good deal. By the way, Greg, I don't know if I told you this. So we had a full board meeting yesterday for Gamecoin. Yesterday we had 3 board members, along with Demario Davis, Saints linebacker, who is a Gamecoin ambassador athlete. So Demario Davis has I think he calls it Demario's Dreamers, a 7-on-7 group, team. And they're in Vegas for the championships of the what's it called? Forgive me, y'all. It's a 7-on-7 league. The league itself has 1 million followers. I just don't know anything about 7-on-7s. But the championships are out in Vegas. And don't let me get Devoted Dreamers. That's what they are. The Devoted Dreamers overtime tournament. The overtime tournament has 1.1 million followers. It's at Overtime on Twitter if you want to go see it. So Demario Davis's team, Devoted Dreamers, are playing in the overtime tournament in Vegas, which is like the national championship. And they asked Gamecoin to come present to all of the teams on Gamecoin, on crypto, on NIL, stuff like that. So We had 3 board members yesterday in Vegas with Demario Davis presenting to NFL players, 150 of the best high school athletes in the country. So really cool, really, really cool. It's coming, man. Platform will launch late summer. Really, really coming along good. All right, let's see. I think Drew's up, babe. Dellinger greater than Dollinger. Well, it's not even Dollinger, it's Dollander. It's Dollander, 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 not Dellinger. Let's see, Brandon Kleber, how many of the baseball recruits for next year do we have a chance to lose to the draft? So I think they signed 21, and I was told they're hoping to get 11 or 12 on campus. So you're going to lose 9 or 10 of these guys to the draft, which is an abnormal amount, but you got to understand, they literally signed the highest rated class ever. I mean, not for LSU, like in the history of perfect game rankings, this was the highest rated class ever. I mean, it was absurd. So they're going to lose a bunch of these guys, but hopefully get a bunch of them on campus. Chance, do you think Razelman will have to lose the toe tap in the pros? No. Luis Alaman, what's going on? Let's see. Jerry, what's good, man? Let's see. More to Matt. Gilbert seems to mouth off every game about something. Not to mention taunting he does after every home run by walking halfway up the first base line. That's all true. He tries at the next level, he'll get one in the ear hole. That's true. A lot of that will have to be purged out of those guys. Nancy Crane, good morning. Tennessee has roid rage. All right, couple more. Craig Davis, just as big a story as the Tennessee pitching coach being out the rest of the series. Is it the rest of the series or just this game? I think the rule is you get tossed, you're out for the remainder of the game, and the next game. So if they do go to a game 3, which I think they will, I do think Tennessee's going to win today, by the way. We just haven't seen Tennessee lose back-to-back days. They lost. I know they lost this. Let's see. They lost. Okay, when they lost the Kentucky series, they lost the first 2 games of that series and won game 3. So they did lose back-to-back to Kentucky. Hey, bud! It's 10:30, sleepyhead. What you been doing? And then they lost back-to-back games when they lost to Tennessee Tech and then the first game against Bama. So they have lost back-to-back twice this year. So they have lost in consecutive days before, but I do think that Tennessee wins today. It becomes a 1-game season on Sunday. Gulf South, Vitello came running out 2 last night. Why wasn't he tossed as well? Did anyone say anything about Southern Miss coach not getting tossed last week? So I did. And I even tweeted it, that Scott Berry should have been thrown out of the LSU game for arguing balls and strikes. He should have been. I tweeted it, and I got a lot of stop being so weak. But like, no, like it's literally the rule. Like if you argue balls and strikes, you are ejected. You cannot argue balls and strikes. And Scott Berry was pretty forceful. Now, he did not leave the dugout, which doesn't matter. But, in that instance, clearly the umpire showed some restraint not running him, but could have, very well could have. And I think he should have. Why didn't Vitello get run yesterday? Like, an umpire can, or a coach can come out of the dugout to request an explanation. I don't think Vitello was arguing balls and strikes. I think he came out because his player had gotten run and wanted an explanation. The pitching coach is the one who ran out of the dugout at the umpire and was obviously mouthy as well. I can't believe this whole show has become about Tennessee. Actually, I guess I can believe it. I mean, they are a lightning rod this year. Jimmy James, 369, damn dirty fine. Baby, come and sock it to me one more time. Get low, get low, get low, get low, get low. You know the only song in the world better than Get Low? No, it's not No. Ooh. It's not, sorry. Dang it. Really botched that. Lady Humps by the Black Eyed Peas. Or maybe...
When you need a roof, call someone you know. Scone and Terrio. All you need is HUDCO. Call HUDCO Roofing. 364-1007.
HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. By the way, if you're on the North Shore, Mandeville got pummeled 2 days ago with hail. Lots of spots in Tangipahoa and St. Helena. Yesterday, terrible rain in the Baton Rouge area, right around 3 o'clock, as a matter of fact. Say it all the time, there's only 2 ways to know if you got roof damage. 1, let us get up on the roof and inspect it. Number 2, wait till it rains, get water in your house. And the really, really tricky part with the water in your house thing is a lot of times you don't know if it's like a slow leak. It drips and drips and drips, and over time, then you start to see water spots on your ceiling. So you could have water in your house right now and not know it until you notice a water spot on your ceiling. And then, well, then you got a problem. So let us come do a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. Of course, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Brock Rock and Wine is coming up on August the 6th. Get your tickets, brortho.com, brortho.com. All right, couple more. Yes, I did that to the Jingle Bells theme. That's the thing that just happened in real life, IRL. Ooh, nice play there by Peyton Stovall. From Monroe, playing at Arkansas. Erica. I never know what she's doing back there. Notre Dame definitely looked like the real deal. They withstood the crowd, met the challenge. Can they knock off the Vols? Can they? Sure. Oh, she's brushing her teeth. Okay. I understand Coach Johnson and Paul Maneri have different styles, recruit different players. Do you think Johnson will get overall better players than Paul Maneri? You see, let's not forget, like, Paul Maneri got Dylan Cruz here. Paul Maneri got Alex Bregman here. Paul Maneri had a rotation that consisted of Gosman, Eads, Nola. All 3 became first-round draft picks. The COVID year, the rotation would have been
Yeah.
You ready for Ask You Rob?
Is there questions?
Yes.
You're about to get off.
Well, because you weren't coming. You had Cole Henry, Jaden Hill, Landon Marceau. Like, all 3 were dudes that were offered 7 figures coming to high school. Like, they had talent. They had dudes. Like, I mean, I point out all the time.
We've got to hang out here today. It's so aggravating.
Oh, it's so aggravating.
So ugly.
Okay, Erica's here.
Good morning.
Time for a little Ask E-Rock. So fire away with your questions.
I have some questions for them. Does anyone know how to make a DIY giant snow cone? Like giant, like 3 feet tall. I found a ton of DIY cotton candies. I'm good with that.
Is this just a decoration or is this something that's edible?
No, I don't want it. Somebody made like a 50-pound edible, so I don't want an edible one, YouTube. I want a DIY giant snow cone party decoration is my search. I don't want to eat it. So, anybody know how to do a DIY snow cone? Put the link in the comments. Is that what people say on here? Put the link in. Attach the link. What do you say?
Drop a link in the
Drop
comments.
a link in the comments. That's it. Yeah. Slide in my DMs.
I have closed DMs, by the way.
Oh, well, don't slide in my DMs.
I didn't. My open
What's a DM? I don't even know what it is.
a direct message.
Okay.
So like on Twitter, direct message my Twitter DMs are closed because that's just a disaster. Like, it's. I tried even a few months ago. I was like, I'm open to my DMs because I do contact a lot of people that way. Like, I get a lot of guests on the show that way. If they have open DMs, I'll message athletes, media, whatever. But I opened mine, and it was just like it was a disaster. It was just flooded.
I just want some. I found a giant DIY lollipop, giant DIY
Okay.
cotton candy. I need to send them.
Ask E-Rock,
Yes.
George Strait or Garth Brooks?
Garth Brooks. I'm the #1 Garth Brooks fan. Call me a Garth girl. Love country. Country people are the nicest people ever. Best experience by far of many experiences was the Garth Brooks concert. It's
Best
amazing.
experience? Just at a concert?
Of outings. Yeah.
Okay. Taz, ask E-Rock, sushi or seafood?
I love sushi, but I like fake sushi. Like, I don't like the raw stuff. So,
Yes.
seafood, my dad cooks amazing seafood. So, anything cooked by my dad in the seafood genre is a fan. He boiled shrimp the other night for my mom's friends that had a little sleepover,
Oh.
and they brought me a ton of boiled shrimp, and he peeled them before he even brought them over.
Why didn't I get any?
You're working late. It was your Oliver Twist night.
And you didn't save some for me?
There is some still in the fridge. I thought you saw it. There's a few left. Yeah, Dad boiled shrimp and peeled them and brought them to me.
Let's see. Can the Pelicans become a free agent destination with their recent success? Yes, they can. Especially get Zion back next year and you make a run. I mean, CJ McCollum saying he wants to be here is a big feather in the cap. Josh Langlois, what's going on? All right, so Ken said, so he's out, Gilbert's out the next 2 games and the first one in Omaha because he was already tossed this year. Interesting, okay. Aaron Hornsby asked E-Rock, KFC or Popeyes?
I don't think I've ever eaten at KFC in my
Oh,
life.
really?
No, never been.
Let's go get some KFC today.
Oh, God, no.
The big bucket?
No, I'm not eating chicken on a bone, Matt. No.
What if I peel it off for you? If I get a chicken breast and I peel a piece of the white meat off and let you eat it?
I gotta soak it in ketchup. I don't really like. I mean, what I like at Popeyes is the red beans and rice. That's all I get. I don't get chicken. I would never get chicken at Popeyes. I don't think I've ever had chicken from Popeyes.
You never had the Popeyes chicken sandwich? Remember when Popeyes
I
they were
don't
doing
like
the chicken
a chicken
sandwich
I
thing?
don't care about a chicken sandwich. I don't care about it.
What?
Just don't want the bread. I don't know. So yeah, so at Popeyes, I just get the red beans and rice. I mean, I haven't been there in probably 10 years, but that was what I liked when I was a kid.
Greg T. Stovall's from Bossier. LSU never offered Big Miss. Greg, that is factually inaccurate. LSU offered Peyton Stovall. LSU wanted Peyton Stovall very badly. He picked Arkansas. They just missed. They absolutely offered. I had a scout tell me that Peyton Stovall is the best pure hitter to come out of Louisiana since Todd Walker. This is a hell of a compliment. But yes, Greg, you're mistaken. They offered and they wanted Peyton Stovall very badly. He just picked Arkansas. So last year they lost Peyton Stovall to Arkansas and the pitcher from Barb to Mississippi State. But boy, I heard he's already in the portal, but apparently they cut him. They were like, you ain't pitching here. Apparently put on the freshman 15, kind of let himself go. His velo dropped. He just wasn't very good. Jack Walker is his name. Let's see. Artie the Real Mayonnaise Kid said, get an inflatable beach ball,
Okay.
paint it white,
Okay.
then whatever color you want.
Okay.
I don't know about the base though.
Oh. Okay. What's his name? Mayo?
RD the Real Mayonnaise Kid.
Okay.
Or RD the Mayonnaise Kid.
Okay. Mayo, you just gave me an idea because I've been seeing a lot of things for ice cream and they're using styrofoam, but I need to somehow get the actual inflated beach ball to look snow cone-ish. Someone said you put Mod Podge and then you put Epsom salt on it and then spray paint it, and the Epsom salt imitates a snow cone. I mean, there's so much DIY about to start up in here. I can't wait. I'm so fired up. It's like after vacation, it's party time, and I'm thrilled. Thank you. That's a great idea. The beach ball idea is really good because it's a styrofoam ball.
You need texture.
Huh?
Texture. You need texture.
Oh yes, I do need texture. Yeah. And I can get like beach balls at the Dollar Tree. Yeah, I love to, my DIYs, I love to do Dollar Tree because I make a lot. And so if I don't go there, then Matt's bill is like, so expensive. So, thank you. Great idea. I need to get a base. What do we do for the base? I want a cone-ish base. I don't want a cup. I want a cone. So we'll figure that out. Thank you.
Bengal Tiger, ask E-Rock, bottle of red or bottle of white?
Bottle of white. I mean, I love a Moscato. However, I'll tell you.
It's got to be a D'Asti.
I love a D'Asti. However, you know what I did like? Was that Pinot Grigio. At that meeting last week. It was very like, it didn't have like a bite to it at the end. So if I'm not having a Moscato, I think a Pinot Grigio would be my second choice.
Robbie White, ask E-Rock, give us a classic Matt pickup line that he used when courting you.
Well, he did not do anything such. He told me his head sweat when he drinks lemonade. If I drink something sour, my head's going to sweat. You want to see? That's what you did. Basically.
I made you ride in a car with the windows down.
Oh, God.
Which now I know would have been like,
Still,
can't believe you must have really been into me.
I was like, dude, this is not going to work.
My
That's what I
car
was
didn't have
thinking.
air conditioning. And so we rode, rolled down the windows on the interstate.
On the interstate. I went home and told my girls out, and they were like, "Oh," I'm like, "Yeah, this is not me."
Well, in fairness, like I think the next day
You got a new car.
is when I got my car.
Yeah, you got a new truck.
I got a
the
truck.
Next day.
Like I think
Thank
literally.
God.
I think
I
it was.
might have ended it. I might have ended it if you didn't get a new truck the
I
next
think
day.
it was literally the next day, wasn't it? Or maybe a week
It was
later.
like the next day. No, because we went. That was a Friday night. We went to Boudreaux and Thibodeau's, and
I
then
remember.
Saturday you got your truck.
Was
the
it
next
that?
day.
I know it was a Saturday. Was that Saturday? Or was
Yes.
it the next week?
No, it was the
The next day. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see. Matt is not feeling the snow cone display, is he?
Well, he doesn't like my theme this year. I'm having
This year?
If you follow us, you know that I go over the top a bit.
Bengal Tiger, so romantic, head sweating classic.
Yeah. I go over the top for Drew's birthdays, and every year we do a blowout. And this year, it's a carnival. It's under Drew's big top. It's the birthday carnival.
Ask E-Rock, ribeye steak with asparagus or
None.
baked potato?
Oh. Well, I don't want a ribeye steak. I do not like steak. So I do like asparagus, and I do like a potato. I love vegetables. I do not like a steak.
Gulf Sal, wait, did she just say, I don't eat chicken on the bone?
Ugh.
She doesn't eat anything on the bone. So no
No.
ribs,
No.
no chicken,
No. What else comes on bone?
quail,
I don't would not eat that.
duck.
I like suckers though. I like a sucker.
That's not a bone, that's a stick.
But still, like the closest thing to
Popsicles?
Not a fan of a popsicle.
Why?
I don't know. Too cold. But I like Tootsie Pops. That's kind of like a bone.
Samuel Smith, morning, Matt. If LSU doesn't make a super next year, is Jay Johnson on the hot seat? No. You got to remember, Scott Woodward hired him. As long as Scott Woodward's here, he will always give his guy rope. 2 years, no. But I think LSU will be. I mean, look, they were a win away from hosting a super this year with no rotation. I mean, to be in a super, come on, you're one of the final 16. Like, you should be there every year, and they'll get back to it. Brant Roban, what's your opinion on the strike call at the end of the Tennessee game? Brant, go back to the beginning of the show. It was like literally, I think, the first thing we talked about. So go back to the beginning of the show, and you get the answer there. It was a good call. Tom Granig at Cajun Palms in Lafayette. Dustin Blanchard, are you out there? I don't know what that means.
I thought you said you had questions for me.
Spurge,
I
Ask
hear
E-Rock.
anything. Okay, come on.
If y'all want Erica to stay for Ask E-Rock, y'all better.
I got YouTube videos to watch.
We've already had a bunch.
I got YouTube videos to watch.
It's almost 11 too. I gotta bring him to work.
Yes.
All right. Ask E-Rock, beach or mountains?
Oh, God, beach. 100% beach. However, beach when Drew's not acting like a fool. Because Drew did not enjoy the beach as much this year that he usually did.
The first day.
For several days. And then it was just, I wanted Drew to love it again, and he did not. He tolerated it for us after the first, by day 3, he tolerated it.
Oh, he did really well. Sat in his
I-
chair and just watched the water.
I love the beach.
Melanie, I hate meat on the bone also. I'm with you,
Good,
E-Rock.
'cause she's a female. Girls don't want meat on a bone.
I mean, I know people that like eating fried chicken and ribs, and my mom loves ribs. My
Okay.
mom will eat fried chicken.
Okay, well, I don't want that. Give me a tender. or a nugget?
Ultimate Warrior, good morning. Had a late start. Good morning, Ultimate Warrior. Bengal Tiger, not for nothing, but let's call it a snowball instead of a snow cone.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might have to go to the ball part. Might have to change my thinking instead of a snow cone and put it in like a bucket, hot glue it.
You see, I
hang it,
still
suspend
maintain
it.
like you think you keep bouncing back and forth between carnival and circus and fair and all
It's
kinds.
a carnival. You can do whatever you want. It's Drew's Carnival under the big top.
Are we gonna have a big top?
Oh, yeah, it's about to get up here. Yeah, about to make it. We're having a big, well, it's like I'm making it out of tablecloths in here and in the other room. We're going to have the red and white draped. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. I have popcorn balloon arches from over the windows. It's going to be so cute.
How long is that gonna be up?
Oh, wow. Because I got to start working on it to see how I'm going to get it to work. And then I don't want to decorate and then undecorate. Do you know how aggravating that is? It doesn't matter if we have a red and white striped big top for Father's Day next week. It'll be a Father's Day carnival. I'll wait till after Father's Day to put it up.
Babe, his birthday isn't until the 18th of July.
It's July 16th is the party. We're about 1 month out, dude.
A month out.
Okay.
You can't decorate a month
Stop.
in advance.
D-
No,
d-
no.
okay.
I'm putting my foot down
Oh,
on that.
okay,
You
okay.
cannot have
Okay.
red and white
Okay.
streamers hanging
It's
from
not
our ceiling
streamers.
for a
They're
month.
tablecloths.
We're not. Even worse. You're not having that hanging for a month. That's ridiculous.
Okay.
A week.
Oh my God. No, we will discuss this off camera. No. How does it inconvenience you? How does it hurt you?
It's my home. I live here. I don't want to live in a
You
carnival.
don't even notice when I do stuff. Half the time you walk out and you're like, oh, I didn't even notice it. So,
That's not true. If you put up a streamer on the mantle for like my birthday or something, I may not notice you hung something. When I wake up and I'm like,
some husbands would be so appreciative that their wives make parties so nice.
and some husbands don't allow their wives to go buy all the stuff to do blah 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 or
Okay, why are we
provide.
talking about this
and-
right now? I will put up the big top when I'm ready to put up the big top. And I won't ask you to help, and I won't ask you to take it down. I'll do it all. You don't have to
No,
do a
you're
thing.
gonna ask me to take it down
No, I'm not, because you're leaving. You leave town the next day.
the next day.
Yeah.
And what happens the day right when the party ends? All the stuff that you spent months putting up just gets taken down in about 10 minutes. Just trash, 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 trash.
That's why I like to look at it for a month before we trash it. Moving on.
Ultimate Roar. Remember, y'all live, dude. I know. This is why
I
people,
know.
This is why people watch this.
No,
it's real
not.
life.
Nobody cares about that discussion.
It is real life. Nicholas Frugier, Ask A-Rock, how much will you miss Will Wade?
I've already talked about him. I was asking about I pass his house every day, twice a day, going to and from work. So I miss him. The general is, I can't believe we let him go. And now he's like, what, in timeout or something he said? What's it called?
He hasn't yet, but he is going to get a show cause from the NCAA,
Yeah.
which is not going to allow him to
So
coach college
stupid.
basketball. I know. I agree with you. Bengal Tiger Carousel?
Not doing a carousel. It seems a little girly. It's a boy party. If it was a girl, oh yeah. No, boy party. So I'm making Ferris wheels. They're going to be so, so cute. I found a DIY Ferris wheel. And,
A Ferris wheel. How big?
well, you won't let me get a real one.
No.
It's just absurd.
It's absurd that you want to bring a Ferris wheel to our home.
No.
That is absurd.
Trivia sent me a link for a kid-sized Ferris wheel. Okay? In Baton Rouge. So, anyway.
He's watching the Rob.
Ferris wheel, making all these like bicycle spoke things and little buckets, and it'll be so cute.
Good morning, Randy Bennett. Jacqueline Price Landry said,
Oh,
"Hi, Erica."
hey, Jacqueline.
Hey, Jacqueline. All right, we might be done.
Yeah, that was none. I
Mom
can't believe I
and Dad are fighting. What do we do? I'm going to my room. LOL.
Fighting? No, it's not fighting.
Streamers in my house for a month. All right.
For you.
Smash that like button if you would. Look at that. 98 watching on YouTube still. Facebook. Got about 130 people watching. Love that. Thanks so much. Please smash the like button if you're new on YouTube. Please subscribe up to the Matt Moscone channel. Facebook, please like the Matt Moscone page if you have not done so yet. Share the post. So shout out to Brock. I don't know why this isn't really showing up in that. We kind of go this way, I guess. That's why it wasn't showing up. All right, we go that way. All right, lesson learned. There we go. All right, Brock Rockin' Line coming up August the 6th at Tiger Stadium. brortho.com for tickets. And, of course, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. All right, y'all have a great day. Peace. Say bye.
Oh, bye. Sorry.
Bye. Bye.